Hello, 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 hello. Good to see y'all here. Let me know if things are working, please. Can you hear me? I mean, I did all the testing things, and it said that I was okay. Actually, I'm all right. Come on, don't be shy. There you go. Art, good morning. Thank you very much. And of course, the question is, can you hear me? Everything all right? For those of you who are, bless your heart, showing up today and aren't familiar with who I am, or maybe you're watching the replay, I am Mitch. My last name is Aunger. I go by Planet Mitch. Often you'll hear me say Planet Mitch. Whole long story behind that. My website is giveawayrocket.com. There is already my words are not working today. There is a case study on me over in the UpViral group or the UpViral website. And so if you haven't seen that or want to know more about what I do, you can go over and check that out. It's in the case studies. Good morning. I haven't used my mouth enough today. Good morning, Linda. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Jippy? Okay, Jippy. Nice name. John T is here. Hi, John. Deborah? L. Good to see you. Thank you, John T. Hello, guys. What? There's another Mitch. Oh, no. Now what do we do? Maybe it's Mark. Maybe he's hiding and pretending to be me. Don't know. Could be. Linda from New... Come on, brain. Just slow down. North Yorkshire... Oh, this had better go better than that. North Yorkshire, UK. Steve Tyland's here. Always good to see you. Jeff, good morning. All right, let's just get started. All right, I appreciate all of you being here. It is going to be a fun day because I love this topic. So you guys have seen the email, right? You know what the topic is. But if you haven't seen the email, and by the way, you should be on the list, get notified as a reminder. Jang is here. Good to see you, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you for popping in. The topic of the day is, inside of UpViral, should you be using an UpViral hosted landing page, or should you be using your own pages, whether it's ClickFunnels or WordPress or whatever tool you're using, and an UpViral widget to build your campaign? What's the pluses? What's the minuses? What works best for you is the real answer, right? The real answer is, of course, it depends, Mitch. And we're going to cover all of those kind of things. Yay, I said it right. Jang, nice to meet you. We're going to cover all those topics, and we're going to answer your questions, because sometimes this can be a confusing topic. And I want to make sure that we have a level set, of course. We're going to go over some of the basics at the beginning. And we're going to answer some questions along the way. Hi, Pedro. Thanks for being here. From Chile, South America. Good to see you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I often get this question, Mitch, how should I build my UpViral campaign? Should I use UpViral? I hear that the landing pages in UpVirals are no good. What should I do? I have a million different answers for that. And Mark and I have had this conversation, and Mark is doing COO things today. If you haven't seen him in a while, he is passionate about what he's doing, and he and I have been talking a lot recently about making a couple of improvements in the way UpViral works. So I'm really excited about that kind of stuff. But a lot of people come and they say, which should I do? And what's the difference? And why should I use one over the other? And what I started to say was that Mark and I have had this conversation multiple times because they've looked at the data and I don't think this is a huge secret, but they say that the vast majority of people, more people, I shouldn't say vast majority, more people are using UpViral widgets than use UpViral hosted landing pages. And that surprises me because in my mind, UpViral landing pages are so easy to build. And I laugh because this whole conversation goes round and round and round, right? I laugh because a lot of people tell me that they cannot make the UpViral landing pages look the way they want them to. And to some degree, I understand that concern. And I'm going to show you an example of something that I recently ran a 5-day challenge, and I built it inside of UpViral, and I think it looks pretty good. And I actually talked to a young lady just yesterday, Sunday, and I asked her specifically, because she was in my challenge, I said, well, what did you think of the landing page? Was it ugly? Did it work well? And she said, I thought it looked pretty good. I said, okay, because she was asking me about how to use ClickFunnels and widgets. And I'm like, well, why would you want to do that if I've shown you that you can build your page inside of UpViral and make it look pretty good? And you said it looked pretty good. She said, well, I'm used to ClickFunnels and I think it looks really pretty. And I'm like, so there are all kinds of opinions out there in the world. And we see that because of elections that happen all over the planet, right? Not just the crazy US election. But everybody has an opinion, and one of my opinions is that it is more about the content than the look and feel of the page. And there's a caveat there. You don't want the page to just be ugly, right? You don't want it to be unattractive. You want people to get in and like your page and be comforted that you know what you're doing, right? An ugly is 1980s flashing colors kind of page, well, unless that's what your particular niche wants, probably is going to put more people off than to make them feel warm and fuzzy. Mitch says, I don't agree. Is it? Who is really Mitch? If that's you, Mark, you don't agree with what? Yes, Deborah says, I agree. We stress over the way things look, and most visitors care way more about the content. And I firmly believe that. Firmly, totally believe that. And I could show you example after example of some pretty ugly pages, and people sign up, figure out the basics. I want to make sure that everybody and people that come watch the replay, because I know a lot of people are watching replays, maybe this time doesn't fit for you. And so I'm going to do a quick overview of the process, and then we're going to dive into some examples. Ask me questions as we go, because I'm not going to save everything for the end, because I think we'll have plenty of questions. Mitch says, design is very important for some audiences for the level of trust. I do agree with that. I do agree that ugly pages can still convert well, but in some cases you want to have the full control of the customization. Absolutely. And I'm not saying that that's a wrong choice. It totally depends upon you. What I would really, really love to do would be to take a couple of campaigns and test them side by side and send people to a ClickFunnels landing page with an UpViral widget versus an UpViral landing page and see which one converts better. My gut tells me that the tool of the page doesn't matter. The design does, but I'm going to show you my design for my recent campaign in a few minutes, and you can tell me whether or not you think it's too ugly. Now, part of the problem was it didn't convert, so I'm still really curious about that. Deborah says, I have clients who want their logo large, and she capitalized that, on their sites and totally miss the fact that it takes up valuable real estate and does nothing for the visitor. I'm going to ring the bell for that one. Way too many times I've seen that. And I have a client that I continue to argue with because he has this massive banner at the top. I'm like, people don't want to see all that. They don't need it. Focus should always be on how well does the page convey the message. I agree with you a lot, Deborah. I agree a lot. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move y'all over to that monitor, and I'm going to do screen share, if I know what I'm doing, screen share on screen one, share. Now, again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Mitch says, this is so funny to read my own name. This brings me to my main goal, is that UpViral allows me to customize the lead capture form, but I'm able to change the social sharing widget fully because I did not discover this option in the system or the documentation. All right, what I'm going to do, Mitch, is I'm going to mark that as a question that I want to come back to. I'm not wanting to put you off, but I think we're going to dive into that answer in a few minutes, and I want to be able to demo that while we're there. All right. So if I don't, I should be getting back to it, but if I don't, hold me to it. All right. Now, if I see everything's working properly, you guys can see my thing, right? You can see my arrow here. All right. Many of you have seen this before, and I actually had a different format that I was using before, but I like this diagram because it level sets everything. The first page that we always talk about is the lead page or the opt-in page. This is the one that has the name and email, right? A typical opt-in page. I'm not talking yet about whether it's a UpViral hosted page or a widget. We're just talking about the process. You send traffic to that page directly. Direct traffic will whether we're talking about direct or referred right now doesn't typically matter, but it can, and we're probably going to cover that. Now, the lead page is where they opt in, and if they opt in, they've clicked the button, and then they end up on the sharing page. That sharing page has the UpViral widget or the sharing buttons. We're going to talk about those in a minute. And they will do the social sharing. All that social sharing brings traffic into the top of the campaign again, and those people are referred traffic. I know this is very familiar to many of you, but humor me, all right? There's emails that come out of UpViral. There are contacts that are added to the database, whether it's your autoresponder or blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of different options that could appear down here. And the last thing is that there are custom actions, right? On that sharing page, there are the sharing buttons and there are custom actions. All right, now this level set is important because the process doesn't change whether you're talking about a widget or whether you're talking about a UpViral hosted page. The process is exactly the same. I'll say that again, the process is exactly the same. If we're talking about and I know it's a little hard to see. Let me see if I can make this bigger. This is actually a screen grab of one of my Fuji campaigns that I did for the Fuji cameras. And so this is an actual opt-in. You can see there's a counter there, and it's really hard to see, but there's the opt-in form down at the bottom. I could have implemented this either with ClickFunnels or Convertly or WordPress or any other landing page tool. It's getting warm in here for some reason, so I'm turning my fan on. I don't think that'll make any noise for you, but if it gets loud, let me know. Now, the tool that builds the page doesn't matter to the end user. Doesn't matter to this process. The sharing page Whichever tool you use doesn't matter. It's all about the content. The process is still the same. All right, so let's do a quick dive into UpViral just to show you how that process works. And I thought I had this already open. Maybe did I have it in Chrome? No, I don't have it in Chrome. A couple of extra windows open. All right, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do create new campaign. So when you're going through this process to start a new campaign, I'm going to call it co-pilot. I'll just call that. Oh, apparently not. Co-pilot, because I end up with gobs and gobs of campaigns. So I have to know where I created it. And we're just going to call this, for now, a widget campaign. All right, and I'm going to click create. Are you guys okay? Can we get this graphic? Yes, I will share that in the Facebook group when I post it, or when our VA posts the video, the replay. It's already been posted multiple times from the other format, but I will post it again. And Mark, if I don't, please refresh me. All right, so when I come in, very first, UpViral sends me to incentives, and I'm going to basically skip through this because I don't need that. I don't need actions right now, so you can skip that. I'm going to go into the design template. And what UpViral asks me at this point is to decide whether I'm going to build an UpViral landing page, and they say best for independent campaigns, or a widget. I'm smiling and laughing because I would love to change those words. But anyway, widget on your site, perfectly integrated into your site. So you're going to make this choice. And once you make this choice, if you want to change the type of campaign in the future, you will lose all of your templates. If you want to save templates, duplicate the campaign. All right, so whether you're doing a hosted page or whether you're doing a widget, once you make this decision, you can come back to it inside the campaign. Mitch, can you allow Mitch in the Facebook group? I'm not in control of the members of the Facebook group, but somebody will come along and approve you. I'm not in charge of watching that. Sorry, I can't do that right now. I don't have admin rights in the UpViral group. But once you decide this, you can come back and change it. And as it says, basically, the easiest thing to do is to just duplicate the campaign and then go in and delete the stuff. All right, but for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a widget. We're going to go through this side of the process first. And I'm going to just go down one level on the magnification so that I have my sidebar over here. I just like it better when I can see the sidebar. And we have two pages that we can build, right? The lead capture and the social share. And maybe someday what I will do is change these titles right here to match those titles right there, because we ought to be on the same page, right? When you choose, and it says up here, type of template widget, so you can always come in and look to see what kind of choice you made, and if you want to change it, you can change it. I can click change. I get this right now. But if I already had templates here, I couldn't do that. You have to delete all the templates before you can make that switch. All right. So when you go into the lead capture and you do add a template, you have 4 choices to pick from for your widget. Now, this is one of the pros and cons, if you're talking about pros and cons for choosing a widget, is that you don't have a ton of different choices. And I'll quickly demonstrate that by going to, I'll just build another campaign. I'll call it co-pilot landing, and I'll do create, and we will skip to the design template, and I will choose a hosted landing page. I will save that, and now when I do add template, what you see is there's Sydney and Toronto and Barcelona and Rome and Berlin and Paris. There's 12 different choices for you to choose from in terms of landing pages. Now, the assumption is that you are building your page in another page builder, right? So you shouldn't need a whole ton of different options for just the opt-in. So what we're talking about, I'm going to just click demo here. What we're talking about is just the spot of the page where they are going to enter their name and email address. Okay. I'm pausing for a second to think about whether I should tell you this right now or not. Let's see. I will just go ahead and tell you. There are some tools like ClickFunnels, and I don't have a list of all the different tools that allow you to do this, but I know ClickFunnels is one of them, where you can take their opt-in form and use that instead of using UpViral's opt-in form widget. So if you're doing ClickFunnels, for example, you don't have to use UpViral's opt-in widget. And let me answer this question, because Mark says, is this the widget? The answer is yes, that's the widget. I'm going to click on the blank one. And so what you're seeing is, and you see this got a border around it. It definitely has a border around it when you use it in your system. It does kind of look like a landing page as well, right? And thank you, John. So you could get rid of this. I'm sorry. I'm in the demo. I'm not actually building it. So let me just select this and go into the editor. I could get rid of this title, and I can get rid of this text, and I can actually get rid of all of this if I wanted to, and just have this. Now, one of the current issues with UpViral is that this space doesn't disappear. There are two little blocks there. So probably what you're going to do is enter your name, right, or something. Because otherwise that's just going to look like a big white empty section, and you can change the text here, right? So on its simplest form, you can have just this tiny little bit, right? This is the widget. I do know that they are going to change this editor, hopefully in the near future, within the next couple of months, if everything works out all right. And then we'll have more choices to be able to create this. But realistically, all you're looking for is just the simple form and a little bit of text above and potentially below to be able to give a little bit of information. And the rest of the page, all of the stuff that is around this, is up to you to control in the other page builder. Okay. And so this is a very good question that Mark asked. Is this the widget, right? If I go into, I've just switched over to my landing page, my UpViral landing page. And if I pick Toronto, which is the same, well, I initially was showing you Toronto. If I look at the Toronto template, other than all of this stuff here, it looks very similar. I'm going to cancel this. I don't need to save that. So let me just go back and show you it created it, but sorry, I apologize. I want to do a split test. And if I select the Toronto one, I'm pausing again. Did I just do Toronto? Let me do that again. Huh. I never noticed that. all these years I've never noticed it. That the look and the feel is of Sydney is, these two look identical, but they're called Toronto and Sydney. I never noticed. I don't know what happened. I swear that they were both Toronto. So initially they looked virtually the same, right? Other than and I'm switching back and forth probably too fast. Other than all of the stuff around this intersection, they look virtually the same. And I understand that this can be confusing. And as Deborah said, the widget equals just the form with the functions to collect the visitor information and build a more appealing page, which is debatable. That's where my debate is. Build a more appealing page around it. All right, so let me just go back, and I'm going to cancel this because I'm showing you, but why does it say no templates added yet when a minute ago it had 2? There we go. Wow, that was weird. So again, in this case, I'm just building a really simple form. You can delete one of these sections. You can put some text in there to change the button and just make it really simple so that's just the form. And as Deborah said, you're going to post everything around it. Jeff says, Mitch, I learned that on the internet, at least, beauty doesn't sell. What sells is content. I'm tending to agree with that. Thank you, Deborah. Sometimes the ugliest page gets the most action. I learned that the hard way. There are so many beautiful websites that do not convert. We could spend an hour discussing that topic. I tend to agree that it doesn't have to be the most beautiful site on the planet. I remember one case where I was working with a client who was trying to build I don't remember what she was using, but she said to me, she said, Mitch, look, I'm a designer. I design artwork. It has to be beautiful. And she spent 3 weeks trying to design the ultimate contest with the ultimate UpViral widget embedded, and it wasn't quite fitting into her design. And she ended up quitting. She never ran her contest because it didn't look beautiful enough. It didn't look, because that was her whole basis in life, was to make it beautiful. And I argued with her and I said, look, let's just build it and get it up and running. Most people aren't going to care. So let me just show you what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to answer your question, Mitch, in just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I already have this campaign, which I call my widget demo. I already have this page built, right? So just to show you, I'm going to do a preview of the widget. This is just the widget. There's nothing around it. And what I have done is I have embedded that in a WordPress page. Now, this is on my giveawayrocket.com site, plug. And you see all of my menus up here, right? I could get totally distracted and going into all the menus and going into the store and buying all sorts of cool stuff. And this Mitch test is a header. It's part of the WordPress page. Because if you look over here in UpViral, there is no Mitch test at the top. That's just the page title. So this section in here is the widget. All right. This is the widget as I built it. It has some extra text in it, right? It's not just the opt-in form. It has its header, it has the opt-in form with some text, and it has a footer to it. I don't have to use all those pieces depending upon which widget I picked. If I wanted to, I'm going to go back here, and I showed you there are several others that are here, right? This is, I'm going to do a split test, and I'm going to take this blank canvas. So we're in my demo campaign, and I'm going to just pick that. I did demo, sorry. I want to select that template. And I'm going to say go, oops. And I have to be careful because sometimes UpViral does that. Oops. I can't type and talk at the same time. I need to say that differently. I can type and talk, I just have to think harder. Copilot demo. And I'm just going to leave all the rest of it. I'm just going to do save, and I'm going to switch over to Firefox where I'm showing the demo. And I got to do one more thing over here, I'm sorry, before I forget. And I'm going to wait while the editor saves. Wait. Don't know why it's taking this long. It'll just be fine. And I've apparently broken UpViral. There it goes. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this one because I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to delete this one because I want it to be really clear what we're doing here. So I'm going to delete those. So I have the one with the blue button, and I have the one I just created. I'm going to turn the one with the blue button off. Again, the joy of UpViral and having multiple things. You can split test them. You can turn them off, right? And so if I turn that off, and I'm going to just triple check and do save. If I come back over here to Firefox and I refresh this, you will see that the page stays the same, but the widget's going to change. And I don't know why that just popped up. You know, that happens when you're doing a demo, right? Refresh. Why is it doing that? There it goes. I don't know why it did that. And I'm probably going to have to report that as a bug because that should not do that. But you see, it's now using the separate demo or the separate template, right? The page is still the same. It still says Mitch test and it still has all this header and stuff. So it's just this section that changed. So you can easily do that with another page builder, right? And again, this is just WordPress. All right, now I'm going to go back and answer, is it caching it? I don't know what caused that campaign close because that's UpViral making that choice. So I don't think it was caching, Deborah. Mitch asked, is it correct when you use the widget combined with form integration, you have maximum freedom as a developer for customization? Yes, that's true. I will say that is true. Do I agree that's the best way to go? I still would argue that that may not be correct. Deborah asks, so, but you do have that option, Mitch. You do have the ability to use ClickFunnels. Let me just show you really fast. I don't know what the heck that is. All right. What the heck is that? I borrowed a that's not what I want. Come on, Mitchell. ClickFunnels dashboard. That is what that is. Oh, okay. I didn't get far enough in getting pre-set up for this. So I was building a campaign for a client a couple of months ago, and I don't know where it is. They've changed ClickFunnels. All right. So there is a complete demo inside of UpViral in the help tutorials on how to integrate with ClickFunnels. The key to that is that in answering Mitch's question, with ClickFunnels, like I said before, you can use a ClickFunnels opt-in form to send the data over to UpViral. And when you set the things up properly, you don't even see the UpViral opt-in widget. So I could do this entire campaign. I have to build one in order to launch it, but I could build it with a basic template and not edit anything, and I would be fine because ClickFunnels is going to use its own form and send the data over to our sharing widget. Does that make sense? So yes, the integration with ClickFunnels means you don't have to actually use the lead capture widget inside of UpViral. And it works. It also happens to be the biggest failure point because you have to do, especially with ClickFunnels, you have to do the setup correctly. And if you don't, then your campaign won't work. One of my clients, I spent 5 hours debugging that widget process, and it's horrific if it's not working. That's one of the reasons why I really, especially if you are a beginner, please, please, please take my advice and just build an UpViral campaign without integrating it with another tool so you get the process down and understand how all the pieces fit together, and then worry about the widget. Because you're going to do multiple campaigns anyway. Be simple and just use UpViral for the first campaign. And Steve Thailand just said my other thing. Thank you, Steve. And I'm going to take a quick sip of my drink, my water, because I get wound up about this. This is one of my favorite topics. Why put a widget on your site, which then allows people to go wandering around without signing up? Isn't the purpose of a landing page to be very specific, i.e. to get their name and email address? Steve, I got a bell. This bell is for you. That is my absolute firm belief because, I mean, and I mentioned it a couple of times, right? This is my widget demo that we're currently looking at. And what's up here? We got a header. We got what could we do? Studies, shop. If I had some widgets over here in the sidebar of my WordPress site, you could go clicking around in there. Don't give people distractions. Do not give people distractions because they are going to leave your page without signing up. Your only function in life is to get them to sign up. I'll give you a quick example. I'm going to go to demo. I'm showing this a whole bunch. I'll show you the Fuji one. Demo Fuji dot giveaway rocket dot. All right, I'm going to cheat .com, and you guys can go there too if you want. It's just demofuji.giveawayrocket.com. I'm using a custom domain. This is an UpViral-hosted landing page. People see giveawayrocket.com up here at the top, right? Giveawayrocket.com. That's my domain. They see my branding, right? There are no menus here. And there is this distraction because I don't want people trying to sign up for this because it's not a real contest. It's just a demo. But there are no other distractions. I do not take people over to Fuji's website. I do not give them menus to select from. I give them one function in life. Sign up for this or go away. If you don't want to sign up, go somewhere else, but I'm not going to tell you where to go. I could, but right? And this is the same one you saw over here, by the way. That's this page that's really tiny for you, but that's this example. There are no choices here. You either sign up or you leave. This is why I really want people to create their own campaign inside of UpViral the first time. If you decide later on you want to create something that has menus and stuff, that's fine. I know there are reasons to do that, and that's your choice. But recognize the fact that people will get distracted and go away. You can do that. You are grown-up adults and can make your own decisions, even if they're wrong. But this is a serious topic because you want people to sign up. Why are you distracting them? Give them one thing to do. Don't give them multiple choices. This is not about going into my store. I could go into my store. I can click this and go to my store. I can go all of my case studies and I can go read my blog. But I've just prevented people from entering my contest. Why would I give them these options? To me, this is a bad decision, right? To me, this is a bad decision. If you're allowing this, it's up to you, but I say, please don't do it. Katerina, how do you do this? Is that an UpViral hosted landing page? And the URL is your page. And yes, that's one of the things I want to get to if I could quit talking so much. Inside of UpViral, right? So what she's asking about is this campaign. I mentioned that giveawayrocket.com up here at the top in the URL. That is my domain. That is my branding. This is inside of UpViral. This is not hosted on my WordPress site. My giveawayrocket.com is a WordPress page. You just saw it, right? This is a WordPress site. This says giveawayrocket.com, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? So I have a custom domain, which is a topic that I've talked about here multiple times, and Steve just said the same thing. Custom domains are freaking awesome. It's one of UpViral's best features, if you ask me. And very few people are using it. Mark and I had this conversation last week, and he's like, Mitch, nobody uses a custom domain. I said, that's because you don't tell them about it. They don't know that they can do this. And that's one of the big reasons why people think they have to do the widget, because they want their branding. And Mark says, Mitch, but that's not why they do it. They do it because of the design. I said, that's one reason, but I have had people tell me the only way I can get my own branding with my own URL is to build my own landing pages, and I'm telling you that it's absolutely not true. And frankly, I had a conversation 2 weeks ago with the wonderful people in UpViral support, because one of my clients got an email from them that says, you can't do that. And I was like, don't be telling them that. Okay, we re-educated the staff inside of support because sometimes they don't understand all the nuances of the way the tool works. And I get that. They're learning just like you guys are. But absolutely, you should be using a custom domain and an UpViral hosted landing page. That's what I tell my students to do. Everybody that comes to me, my mastermind folks, they all build their first campaigns as an UpViral campaign hosted on UpViral with a custom domain at the top. Every one of them goes that way because it's just easier. As much as other people like to tell me they have to have it inside their own domain, I'm like, here you go. It's in your domain. Google sees this as in your domain. You'll get traffic bonus points for having this on your domain. It's in your domain. They don't know any better whether it's physically on server X or server Y. Maybe they do. I don't know. But anyway, this campaign is built inside of UpViral as a hosted landing page. I think it looks freaking decent. It's not perfect. It's not the most sexy web design ever. But we've gotten over, let's see, 25,000 leads, because I've run this campaign different for Fuji. We've gotten over 25,000 leads for them with this campaign. It does 25,000 leads. Did you guys hear that? 25,000 leads I've gotten with this landing page. And it converts at about 30%, by the way. I can show you the stats. The conversion rates are 30-ish%, if I remember correctly. You don't have to build a widget. And I get onto this topic and I start ranting. Mark asks, does the ClickFunnels option for a landing page work with the hosted landing page as well? No, you can't combine the two things. You can't do a widget and a hosted landing page in the same campaign. You can do it in multiple campaigns. But no, you can't combine the two. There's no reason to combine the two. You're either going to be hosted or you're going to be a widget. You can't combine the two. Don't want to combine the two. All right. So, could I put a widget? I mean, there's no reason to put a widget. I mean, this is here, right? I don't have a ClickFunnels account, but you know, I am showing you inside my WordPress account that you can build a page and you can have the widget. Okay. You guys with me so far? Have you got any other questions? And I know I still have to get back to that other question. We still haven't gotten to the social sharing side of things. And I know I tend to go kind of long on these conversations, so we're already at 45 minutes after the hour. And so we'll probably be going long today. All right, now, so notice that this is also giveawayrocket.com/Mitch test, right? I'm going to go kind of back to UpViral, and we're going to, this is my widget demo. I'm sorry, Mitch. You made me think. All right. So in the advanced, I'm just going to show you really fast. In the advanced section, I'm sorry, in the installation section is where you define the campaign URL. I want to get through this part really fast. I'll do this really fast. Notice I don't have a step 2 here. Traditionally, if I go back to Chrome to this diagram, there is a lead page and a share page. With a widget, if you really, really want to, you can just use an opt-in page. I don't advise it, but you can do it. So if I come over here and I put in Planet Mitch and I put in my email address and do download the free report, notice the widget just snuck in there, right? The page didn't change. We're still on Mitch test. So it's as if I'm doing both of these pages in one page. You can do that with a widget, which you cannot do with UpViral hosted pages. Now, here's the social sharing section. So Mitch asked earlier, this brings me to my main goal. UpViral allows me to customize the lead capture form, but am I able to change the social sharing widget fully? Because I did not discover this option in the system or documentation. Now, ask me or tell me more about what you mean, change it fully. Now, this, again, this is part of my WordPress page. This widget is this dark section down to here. Can I change the color of these? The answer is no. Can I change the color of the background because UpViral's templates are a little bit limiting? No, I cannot change this color either. I can change this text. I can change this text. I can do a few things. I can change this text here. I cannot change the colors of these buttons. I can add custom actions. This particular campaign does not have custom actions buttons. All right. So tell me, Mitch, what I would like this, the full grid of this widget. I'm not sure I understand what you mean. I would like this, the full grid of this widget. So let me just go back just to clarify inside of UpViral. If I go back to the design template, let me go over to the one that I was building from scratch. I'm going to add a template. So what you see is these 5 different template designs. You don't get all of the fancy designs that you get with the landing page. I absolutely detest the Sydney one. I don't advise anybody to use that because if I do demo, it has these tabs at the top and people don't recognize these are tabs. Nobody I know recognizes these as tabs, and the users don't understand what you're doing here. So I really dislike that. Don't use Sydney. All right. So Mitch says, I would like to change the full grid of the widget that was on your screen. For example, redesign the buttons for sharing in a 2-column way. No, you can't change the design of the grid. You can't change the layout of the leaderboard. Now, if I show you Toronto, notice that it does have a left-hand side and a right-hand side where the buttons are. You can select a different template. You can change the background color of this one. You can change the header color up here. You can change this text over here. You can add or not have the widget, the leaderboard. But right now, today, and I keep telling you that they have told me they are changing the template designs and the editor. We just don't know when that's coming. I was told that there is going to be a whole lot more flexibility to the layout and the build of these things. I have not seen it yet. So all I can say is that change is coming. I don't know what options we will have or anything else, but as of right this second, you can't change those. You can pick a different template, right? Berlin, the one I typically use because I think it looks more appealing, is the one I showed you before. But again, I can change this color at the top, but I can't change this background color, and I cannot change the colors of these buttons. You can't change those colors on any of the templates inside of UpViral. My question is answered. It would be nice if the users had a custom template. Yes, I totally get that, and I continue to be told that we will get options for doing more. I don't know what they are yet. Jippy, I am not going to answer that question right this second. I'm going to save that question for later because it doesn't fit where we are. All right. So you good, Mitch? If you need to leave, that's okay. I think I've answered that earlier question. All right. So, oops, I didn't select a demo, but you can. Something like Barcelona, for example, is very simple. It doesn't have the different tabs at the top. If you like this, you can change this background color. These are smaller sized buttons, and the leaderboard looks like that. But there's not a whole lot you can do differently. Thank you, Deborah, for posting that about replays. So I typically pick Berlin because I just like the way it looks. They are wide, and the width of this is something you can establish later. But I get way too close into this particular process. So we haven't even talked about the UpViral landing pages yet. So how do you install a widget? Very common question. How do you install it? So I'm going to jump down to the installation conversation, and notice there is the width right here. You can change the width of that thing if you want to. But notice right here, there are 3 forms of this. There is the widget, there's the pop-up, and there's the HTML form. All right. Thank you, Linda. I've never really implemented the pop-up. I have not found that to be one of the best options, and people have told me they've had trouble with that. So I've never really spent a lot of time trying it. So I'm just telling you, I don't have a whole lot of experience there. It may work great, but I typically either use the widget form or the HTML form. Now, the widget form is the one that I'm using on my WordPress demo page, this one. This is the widget form installed on this page. All right. I can't believe I've spent an hour so far. I'm just looking at the time. And again, if you have to go, that's okay. You can always come back and finish the replay. Now, so what I did was I took this widget code, right, down, and I put this URL. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump back over to this demo that I'm doing here, the more complete build. Steve says the option to pick branding colors is probably at least on the roadmap. Again, when they get to the new editor, you'll have a whole lot more options on doing that. So what I did is that weird? Is that me? Why is that? Why? I paused because I just told you that you could do a widget or a pop-up or an HTML form because I was building this one from scratch. And then I got to the one that I built 3 years ago, and this says embedded widget. And this says pop-up widget. That's weird. I don't understand that. It confused me. So that's curious. Anyway, what you do, I bet that has to do with the fact that this is a really old campaign. I'm gonna just do refresh on this page because notice it doesn't have the, oh, there's the copy code. I learn all kinds of stuff just doing UpViral. So again, I talked about the page, right? I pasted the thing here. If I were going to do a second page, I would post that here. And that's where a lot of people also mess up, is they don't put the second page in here from the process. Oops, not that. From this process. So I'm gonna close that because it's driving me bonkers. If I go into UpViral and if I put a second page here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put http google.com and I'm going to save, right? So we were on my test form. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Firefox's homepage. I use Firefox a lot purely because I can hit a keystroke and I can have it delete all the cookies. Right, so if you go up to one of these tools, clear recent history, you see there's a keystroke, Shift Command delete. I remember that keystroke, so I can bring that up. So all the cookies got wiped out, and I don't use Firefox for other things, so I can come in here and I can quickly test something, delete the cookies, test it again, delete the cookies. The other way of doing that, obviously, is incognito windows, but that sometimes confuses people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Mitch test page, and you'll see that I have to sign up again because I cleared the cookies. The widget works on cookies, right? When you saw me enter my name and my email and it went to the sharing widget, it stayed on the same page, but it set the cookie. And it would always show me the sharing widget instead of the landing widget. So I'm going to just register again. Oops, Mitch type. And notice it sent me to Google instead of staying on the same page. So the only thing I did differently was I installed this share page URL. And that's key. By the way, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail because we've talked about this on other things. If you were to go to, I'll show you really, really fast. If you use the one-click sign-up, that one-click sign-up over here is based on that second page URL. Notice it says go to google.com. Obviously, that won't work in our situation. But if you're familiar with the one-click sign-up, if you're not, don't be confused. Ignore what I just said because it's not important today. But that's what the one-click uses is this URL. Thank you, Deborah. She shared the keyboard shortcut. All right. Now, so what I did, if I'm doing the embeddable widget, is I come down here. There's only one option. I copy that code, and I'm going to go over to my WordPress page, which is here. And I am in text mode. WordPress is different than anything else if you're familiar with WordPress. And all I did was I selected that and I pasted that code. All right. And I did update, obviously. Now, if I were going to do the pop-up, that would be different. I'm not going to demo that, but I can do an HTML form. And the HTML form is a little different. So if I copy this code, and notice there's 3 boxes here. If I copy this code and I come over to my WordPress site and I select all and I do paste, it's different, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, why did my update go away? There it is. I'm going to click update and I'm going to come back over to my Firefox page and I'm going to go home. And I'm going to clear my cookies just so I know my cookies are gone, gone, gone. And I'm going to go into my clipboard manager and I'm going to grab my URL again for my page. And notice this looks very different. This is just an HTML form. Now, as a side note, because I like to be complete, step 2 is there's a little bit of scripting code, and I have this already installed on my WordPress site. So I can do this demo, but I basically would have copied that code, put it at the page or at the site level of my WordPress site, and then this form works properly. Okay, so it looks very different. This is just a basic, speaking of ugly, form. It's a form versus the widget. There's not all this other stuff wrapped around it. It's just the name. And now I could edit that and make it a little prettier. I could come in here and edit the HTML. I could go to the visual editor and I could say, Mitch rocks, right? And I could do update. And so you could go in and you can edit the HTML. You could put colors. You could do all that kind of stuff. But it's a simple, basic form. It's not the widget. Now, why would you do that? Now, here's one of the things that most people get really confused about. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to have to build something that I wasn't totally ready for, but we're going to do it really, 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 really fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do add new, and I'm in my WordPress site, and I'm going to do Mitch share page. And what I'm going to do, because I'm inside the new WordPress, I'm going to put custom HTML. I'm going to come back. If you're getting a little confused, this is over your head, you can watch this multiple times. Somebody earlier raised their hand to speak, but I'm not going to let you speak. Sorry, Marcia. I just noticed that. And what you're going to do is you're going to do the 3rd step. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy this code. And I'm going to come over back to my WordPress site. And I'm going to put that HTML in here. And I'm going to publish this page. Okay? All right. It's now live. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Oops. I didn't want to do that. All right, it still works. So I'm going to copy that. We're going to close that. And I'm going to go back to Firefox. Oh, I got to do one more thing. I go back to my UpViral, and I got to change this Google thing to that new page name. And I'm going to tab out of that, and I'm going to do save. All right, Mark. Looks like I need to run. I need to reconsider how to get people to my SamCart funnel. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know about SamCart. You asked that earlier. I apologize. I don't know if SamCart works or not for a widget. I've not tested that before. I did see that, and I'm sorry, Mark, if you're still here. So now my process goes from Mitch test to Mitch share page, and I have installed my widget there. But if you remember, if I come back here, right now, this page, Mitch test page, is the form. It's not a widget. All right, so I can put in Planet Mitch. I can put PMR. Mark says, I'm sorry, Steve Tylen says, Mark, have a look at ThriveCart instead. And it's also something I've never tested. Steve, have you tested putting an UpViral widget inside of ThriveCart? Because I really need to be able to test that. I just haven't done it. I think it's probably possible. All right, so this is, Mitch test is just the form. I've gotten way down a rabbit hole I wasn't planning on doing. But then when I click OK, it takes me to the share page. And I have something wrong with my Firefox. You saw the share page was there, and something is really weird. I don't know why it's doing that. If I do a new incognito window, I got to figure out what's going on my computer, because this is really weird. It's not going to the right place. It's on the page and then it goes there. I don't know what's going on. Let's see if I do it in Chrome. Let me put my Chrome page here. I'm sorry. It went to the share page. Now this is a good demo. This is the other problem that people run into with the widget, because they don't understand the cookie process. So I just switched over to Chrome, right? I'm in Chrome, and I put in the share page URL. I didn't put in the landing page URL. I put in the share page URL. And so because I don't have my cookies set on this browser yet, UpViral did not set my cookies, so it's showing me the opt-in page. Let me rephrase that. It's showing me the opt-in form. And this confuses a bazillion people. That's one of the other reasons why I really dislike students, beginners, using the widget, because they get here and they go, my thing's broken, UpViral's broken, and it's not doing what I want it to do. In reality, what they just don't understand is the cookie process. So if I put in my name, right, and I put in PMR, and I go download the free report, I'm staying on the share page because that's where I told it. See, and it's still freaking doing that. I got to figure this out because it makes it really hard to do a demo when my computer is switching on me like that. I do not know what is going on. I don't know where that is coming from. It is so weird. There is some kind of an automatic thing happening. And I'm sorry, because this is not the place I want it to go. Why is it doing that? If I do it in Safari, does it work right? And I apologize. It's the joy of testing. Right? So again, I'm on the share page, but it's giving me the UpViral widget opt-in. Please don't go to the other page. It did. All right, I give up. Something's broken on my computer. I don't know what it is, and I'm really going to have to fix that. Have you not got another page with that name? It's not. You see, it's taking me to mark.benrogiveaway.com, which is a demo I did the other day. There was just something weird on my computer. Because it shouldn't do that. It's going to, I don't know. Anyway, let's not worry about that. You saw it. The confusion that people have is that the cookies aren't set properly. And, I bet I know what it is. I bet I know what it is. All right, I just thought of this. If I go to my UpViral This is just a demo. Let me close that. Dashboard. Settings. I know I'm way off topic. It looks like a redirect changed the name. I know, but it's probably, I've got so many test custom domains that, where is my widget one? Widget.giveawayrocket.com. That should be right. It probably has to do with all of this stuff because it's probably UpViral sending me to a different campaign because I have one of these set wrong. So that's probably it. It's probably my fault. So anyway, I don't want to be there. Now, does anybody have any questions? Testing is a problem for widgets. More pieces to put together. These are the cons. You see that I'm struggling at some points with getting things to work properly, putting in the right URLs. There are so many different little pieces to put together inside of an UpViral campaign that is a widget. If I go into my landing page demo and I just quickly create a page, right? A landing page, and I'm just going to close that. And I'm going to create a Sydney sharing page. And I'm going to make sure that all of these are turned on. Come on, click, click. Why is that not clicking? And I do save. And I get out of here. You'll see, come on, get out. Go, go, go. Why is it taking so long? Come on, UpViral. Linda says, use UpViral where everything is already there. Why is this taking so long to save? There it goes, finally. So technically, if I go to promote and I grab this URL, granted I have not done a custom domain or anything, it still has the UpViral things, right? I'm going to close this, I'm going to close that. I'm in Firefox, so I'm going to do new window, and I'm going to do my Command-Shift-Delete. I'm going to delete my cookies. I'm going to paste in that URL so there's nothing else going on. Notice I have a campaign. It's up and running. I'm not trying to go integrate. I'm not trying to, obviously I have not edited the page. I haven't done anything, but I can come in here and I can do Mitch and I can do PMR and I can do download free report and it takes me to the sharing page. I don't have the social share set up. I'm not logged in, whatever, all that kind of stuff, right? I could log in. But my campaign simply is ready to go. Okay, it's not really ready, but it doesn't take that long to make all of those edits and put my stuff in. But I'm not having to go through all of those hoops of getting the landing page URL, getting the share page URL, all of the installation of the widgets and the forms and the pop-ups or whatever. It's just here. Right? It's just, especially for your very first campaign, it's easy, right? Now, if I really wanted to make this totally ready to go, I just go in and I create a custom domain for it. I can create a custom domain, put my giveawayrocket.com domain name on it, and now everything's branded. They're not hard to do. It's not the simplest thing to do, but it isn't hard to do. I can quickly create a campaign with my own domain name. I can do it all in less than an hour, for sure. I know I'm a little bit faster than you guys because I have a lot of stuff already pre-built. And I would probably just clone one of my other campaigns and work with it. But the last thing that I will say, not really the last thing. One of the other things that I did want to note is that, I did want to show you my other page, right? The mobile aspect of things is potentially significant to you. Some of the campaigns, and I've run into this myself, some of the UpViral templates are not exactly as pretty as you want on mobile. I always tell everybody, whether you're doing a widget campaign or whether you're doing an UpViral-hosted campaign, to test on mobile. You got to test on mobile because half of your people or more are coming in through their smartphones. And what I discovered in my recent campaign is that the first template that I picked squished the image on a smartphone, and I had to switch templates. All right, but let me show you that, right? We talked about earlier about design. I'm going to go to my Firefox spot, and I'm going to go back to home because I really like to start there, and I need to figure out what the keyboard shortcut is to get to home, but I haven't done that yet. And I'm going to delete all my cookies just to be 100% sure. And I'm going to go to challenge.viraltrafficguy.com. viraltrafficguy.com. And when you go here, this is an UpViral hosted landing page. And I had people complimenting me on this. Okay. This up here at the top, you can kind of sort of see that this is an image because I'm clicking and dragging it around. It is not text. This is text up here because you can see I can select it. This here is text. It does have a colored background to it. This section is all text. I did all of this inside of UpViral. This particular template has a section with the button, and the button does the pop-up. And for some reason, there's a little bit of scroll, which I thought I had fixed, but anyway. So this is a pop-up inside this template. I had a lot of people telling me that they couldn't find the button because I added all this stuff at the bottom, and I still didn't like the way this turned out, but I was in a hurry, so I just let it be. The text is supposed to wrap, and I never finished fixing that. But I put this animated GIF to show people where the button was because some people told me they couldn't see it. I added my own countdown timer, etc. And then I have these sections down here. And then there's some more images. This is an image. This is an image talking about how great I am. This is an embedded widget that has my testimonials on it. It's called Endorsal, if you're curious. But all I did was insert some HTML code. And then there's the bottom section with the rules and stuff. But this is an entirely, this campaign is entirely built inside of UpViral. This landing page, although if you think it's ugly, it's just purely because Mitch doesn't spend as much time as some people do on HTML. There is this white section here that I never could get rid of, but that's because the UpViral template has a bug in it, so to speak. But even the young lady that told me that she would not use UpViral hosted landing pages, when I told her this was because they're not pretty, she'd used UpViral before. She looked at this and said, well, that looks pretty darn good. It's not perfect. I confess it's not perfect. I'm not a page designer. And I had people helping me with the text, right? So, but I was able to create these different colored sections. I was able to create colored text. All of the stuff is completely inside of UpViral. and these images and this widget, but I did it all inside an UpViral-hosted landing page. It's got my branding on it. It says viraltrafficguy.com. Okay, is this making sense? Katerina, how is made the embedded widget for the reviews? I went to this site, which is called Endorsal. That's endorsal.com. And what I'm going to do is I actually have it as an app. So I'm going to do Endorsal. I may not be logged in, so let me refresh. I love that they always have a joke. Why is there always a gate around cemeteries? Because people are dying to get in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a refresh because I want to make sure I'm logged in. I'm going to do login. And Endorsal has these ability for me to create a page. So what it looks like if I go to giveawayrocket.com/feedback. Okay, so this is an app. I give this to people. They can come in and tell me what a great guy I am, right? Hopefully. And there's a live preview over here so they can see what it's going to look like. I get notified and I come in here and I approve their testimonial. There's all kinds of different stuff. And if I go to the section for widgets, it will give me like this giveaway rocket. If I click here, I get embed code, which is this hunk right here. And I copy that embed code and I come over to UpViral. When I'm doing the design, for example, I'm getting really detailed here. So I'm in my widget demo. Let me not do the widget demo. Let me do the other one. Where's the other one? That still says widget. Where? Oh, this is the landing page one. So if I come over here and I do design template, and let's see which this is currently there. And if I come over here, like right here, and I double click a word to bring up this pop-up, I can go into code view and I can paste that, what I just copied. I didn't copy it, right? Okay, I thought I copied it. Copy, and I can paste that in here, and I can close that, and it would appear here. I don't have, there's another chunk of code that I have to put on this page in the system setup, but that's how I do it. That's a long-winded explanation. Another one Steve says is Vidmonial, which allows embedded video reviews. Great. Thank you, Steve. I have not heard of that one. The Endorsal one I bought on AppSumo as a lifetime deal for $69, so I don't have to pay for it anymore. Linda asked, which template do you like best? Now, is that a widget question or a landing page question? Or both? I'm not going to save those changes, but that's how you get it there. In terms of landing pages, I will tell you, oops, I don't want that, sorry. I'm trying to answer Linda's question, landing page and share page. If I do split test, my favorites are Toronto. All right, I'm going to do another demo safari.giveawayrocket.com. Or is my cookie already set? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll go to Firefox, and I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to go to Demo Safari, giveawayrocket.com. And this is my demo for the Safari campaign. All right. This campaign with a video at the top and text and more text and a sign-up form and sponsor section and pictures of the Safari places you're going to go and scrolling. terms and conditions down here at the bottom. This is an UpViral-hosted page. I think it looks pretty decent. We got over 8,000 leads on this campaign. And if I go back over to UpViral, that is a Toronto template. I used a Safari image instead of this wonderful lime green thing. And all of that template is just me adding a bunch of text. You'll see that right here is the end of the white section. Here's the black section at the top. Then there's the form, and then there's this black section, right? So if I come over to UpViral, all of that bottom stuff is added below here or above there, between, it's added right here. All of that top white section is added here. There's all kinds of stuff, including the video, up at the top of the page. This and this demo contest, all of this is at the very top. People don't recognize when they see this, they go, well, that's pretty simple. I can't do much with that. And my answer is, yes, you can. Right? They see the simple demo and they go, well, that's not going to do the job. And I've shown people this a bazillion times, and every one of them goes, I didn't know you could do that inside of UpViral. And that's just the Toronto template. And I just kept adding. And you see me scrolling. Terms and conditions are down here, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is in this single campaign in the Toronto template. That's it. Simple, right? I use Toronto all the time. The other reason I use that, by the way, is that it looks just like this on the smartphone. It looks just like what you saw on the smartphone. It's a single column, all of the bits line up, etc. If you pick this one, for example, I'm going to do the Sydney demo. It doesn't look like this on a smartphone. If I simply come over to the right-hand side and I drag it, you'll see that the image pops to the top. You have to be careful looking to see what it's going to look like on a smartphone. And it's responsive. It flips over. But notice this logo section and then the image and then this. You have to pay attention to the smartphone look. What's it going to look like? I simply do that by dragging it. So let me finish Linda's question. I'm long-winded, you know that, sorry. Barcelona, I have used before. Guess what? Let's see, where do I have it open? Is it here? Yeah. This is Barcelona. So this template, Barcelona, is what I used for this campaign. This is a Barcelona template. You see there's the line that goes across, and then there's this pop-up button. That's what Barcelona does. If I click demo, you'll see there's the stop section, then there's this white section, then there's the click to pop up. I created my entire page off of this. Now, people, again, like I said before, they don't think you can do a whole lot with this. They're like, that's too simple. I need my own page build, right? But look what I did with this. I added all this stuff in, except for this white thing, because you see it right here. It's this section right here. I couldn't shrink that. And it's my fault that this image is not wrapping this text. That's me. It's not UpViral. All of this stuff appears down here where they got this empty section. So Barcelona can work. And by the way, I picked Barcelona because I tested. I was using, not Toronto, what was I using before? Let me close this demo. I was using the Sophia. And the image that I had at the top this very top image, for some reason on Sophia, this one right up here, this was getting compressed on the smartphone. It was looking really goofy, so I switched. And Barcelona seems to work better for those images. All right, but there's all kinds of stuff you can do with these templates. The other one, I've used Berlin, I've used Rome, I've used Paris. By the way, the demo, do I have it still open here with the Fuji thing? Where's my Fuji demo? Oh, we were having trouble over there. I'll just do it open here. Demo Fuji. Giveawayrocket.com. This Fuji campaign, was built with Paris. I have used Cape Town. I have used New York. I don't like London because it's too simple here. You can always change out that background wood thing. You can put whatever you want back there. And I've used Sophia a lot. Deborah says, great stuff, Mitch. Why reinvent the wheel when you can just repaint to reinvent the entirely new look? And I have had, by the way, clients that say, Mitch, I just want to take what I have now and tweak it a little bit. Can you do that in UpViral? And what I've done is I've cheated a couple of times. I've just taken screen grabs of a HTML section that I wasn't able to quite get UpViral to do because I'm still waiting for the new editor because they say it's going to be much better. But I just took an image. I took a screen grab of what they already had, and I took that image and I put it on the page instead of spending 8 hours trying to make the HTML work. Right? You can do a little fudging if you want. I like Krakow a lot in terms of the way it looks because it has the image and then the text, and then has this testimonial sections to it. I've used it, but the thing that drives me bonkers about it is this right-hand section on the top is always there. You can't use it, and when you shrink it, then that disappears on the smartphone. But it's just sometimes it feels like wasted space, and I'd like to put something over there. Some people try to put an image here, and then when it shows up on the smartphone, all of that text appears over the image, and you don't get to see what the image is. And so you're messing yourself up when you do that. All right. So they all have pluses and minuses. In terms of the second question side of that Linda asked, and Katrina, I still am going to get to your question. If you go to the social share, she said, which ones do I use for that? As I mentioned, I detest Sydney because of this tab thing, because people do not see these tabs, and therefore they never see the leaderboard and they don't see their progress towards incentives. I tell people never to use Sydney. I use Toronto. I have used Barcelona, but I don't like it as much. Toronto it's graphically not as pretty. I have used Rome a lot, and I have used Sofia and Krakow a lot. I love Krakow for stuff and Sofia for stuff. I use them both a lot. I don't use Paris unless you're doing a webinar. Paris looks really good for a webinar. I don't typically use Berlin, but they all have their pluses and minuses, like I said before. I am using Krakow for my challenge process. For example, if I go back over, that I have it in here, if I sign up for this, and I quickly pop this in, I'll just do Mitch PMR. And oops. All right, you see one of the things that I'm also testing, you see I'm using a tool to get validation on email addresses, and it finally clicked through with that, so I can click the button. But this is done in Krakow. So if I go back over to UpViral, Krakow is what I'm using for this page. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. But there's a lot of flexibility in these templates. How is Krakow social sharing on mobile? It's fine. If I drag this over, for example, sometimes it gets a little compressed depending upon which phone you're using. But the buttons are here, and then there is this middle or the text section. So it appears below the buttons. And I did a little sizing issue there depending upon, it's sometimes hard to compromise. It's not, the designer isn't like if you use ClickFunnels or Convertri or Lead Pages where they have the mobile view and the sharing or the desktop view, so you can customize both. We're stuck here with the older style where you can only do one you can only do one layout. But I've had several hundred people inside of this, some of them using their smartphones and some of them not. And I didn't get any complaints that they couldn't see or do anything. So Krakow was just fine, Steve. All right, Katerina, is the embed widget for reviews just allowing you to embed a review from TripAdvisor? In my case, the embedded widget is only for the tool called Endorsal. It is not TripAdvisor. It's specifically designed Endorsal, E-N-D-O-R-S-A-L, is a tool designed to give you a place for people to give you reviews and then a way for you to display them. It has nothing to do with TripAdvisor. I don't know if you can use anything like that from TripAdvisor. Typically what people do is they just grab a screen grab and post that in. The one that I'm using is specifically designed. Thank you, Deborah. Linda says it's Video Ask for the other review app. All right, so that was an hour and a half plus. I think I've covered everything that I planned to cover. Widgets are wonderful if you know what you're doing. Please, if you're a brand new person, use a hosted landing page. Take my advice and customize it as much as you want. Take the learning you just saw me do with all of these different demos, right? I mean, these are hosted UpViral pages. I am 99% sure. I don't know, I need to change that. I do not use widgets. I have done over 100 campaigns for clients like Fuji, and I can't think of some of the others right now. I have never, ever built a campaign with widgets because it's just freaking too complicated most of the time. Please take it out of your head that you have to use a widget because it's better. It's not better, it's more complicated. If you know what you're doing and you know how to build pages and you want to use widgets, you're happy to do that. But it's more complicated. I have spent gobs and gobs of time debugging widgets. If you want to pay me to debug your widget, like my friend did for 5 hours of my time to debug his widget because it wasn't working, you're welcome to do that. I have had clients in ClickFunnels where I have had trouble getting the process to work, and I have completely rebuilt the entire campaign inside of UpViral in less time than it was taking to debug the dang thing in ClickFunnels, and it just freaking works. So Katerina, I'm not a widget person. I don't know how to do all those other things, because she said, I've got many 5-star reviews and I would love them to show like this embed widget. I'm not here to teach you how to do embed widgets for what's the word? Reviews. Steve says fitting pages onto both computer and phone is painful inside of other tools. I do wish that there was a really simple way of making it happen. And frankly, that's what I think UpViral-hosted pages are. I'm going to turn off the sharing. I am biased, I confess. I just don't see that it adds any joy to my process to go to another tool and have to go through all the hoops of the cookies and the embedding of the widget and testing the thing, which is the other thing that people don't do. I've had so many people come to me and Mitch, my referrals aren't counting, or my points aren't counting. What are you using? UpViral-hosted pages or a widget? And they say, widget. I said, did you test it? Well, we thought we did. I don't ever have a problem with points counting in an UpViral-hosted campaign. Never. They just work. It's almost, I'm just now laughing because I'm just thinking of the analogy, and some people will hate me for this, but what does Apple tell you in terms of a Macintosh or an iPhone? It just works, right? That's their claim, and I know there's problems because I'm on a Mac. I love my Macs. But Windows has more flexibility, right? You can do so much more, quote unquote, with the Windows machine because you can integrate blah, all these other reasons that people say it's better to use Windows. And I understand that there are some reasons why you would want to do that. But I also know that it's on a Mac. I'm not trying to do Mac versus PC, but Macs are typically much easier. The studies for total cost of ownership for Macs always win. Macs win over Windows machines every time in total cost of ownership. Yes, they cost more upfront, but they cost you a lot less in maintenance and other stuff. And I believe that's firmly true with UpViral. And I know, I mean, even the demos Mark has done, he has built them inside of ClickFunnels with a widget to connect to UpViral. I'm like, I know that there are all kinds of pretty templates for ClickFunnels, but why aren't you demoing your own tool, Mark? If you're out there listening to me, let's build everything inside of UpViral if you're going to do it. Now, it is more difficult, I will tell you, building a long landing page like UpViral's main page with all of the images and the way the text looks side to side. Right now inside of UpViral editor, it would be really hard to do that. I hope it's going to be better with the new editor, but I don't know. So there are certainly times where you want to use a widget. I get it. I totally understand that. But most of the time, most people don't need it. For a contest, you don't need it. In my book. And Deborah said, more tools make for increased potential points of failure. Exactly. That is exactly what I'm trying to make the point for. And bless all of y'all for sticking around this long. Because I know I've been rather long-winded about this. Deborah says, ClickFunnels is also another added expense. Katerina, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. You already have UpViral. Why not use that and adapt what they have for the templates to save an additional expense? Guess what? I have eliminated ConvertTree. I was using ConvertTree to build some landing pages. I am building everything inside of UpViral. I've said this before on the Copilot show. I am building lead magnet opt-ins, free ebooks, contests, webinars, challenges. You've seen my challenge brief demo. I am building everything with UpViral hosted pages because I don't need other tools. The only tools I need are 3. A cart, which I'm using ThriveCart, an autoresponder, which I'm using ActiveCampaign, and UpViral. That's all I need to run my business. Okay, I got accounting and some of those other things, but that's talking about my marketing. Okay, 4 things. I have WordPress because I have my WordPress site. But if I were just building my campaign, I don't have to have WordPress. Realistically, I could get away without the WordPress site if I really wanted to. I could do my entire business minus the other things, the marketing side of my business with UpViral, an autoresponder, and a cart. That's it. Why do I need to put ClickFunnels on top of that? Why do I need 4? UpViral does 90% of what I need it to do in terms of look and feel. Harsh people might say, this is Steve, might say I need my beauty sleep. Thank you for being here, Steve. Linda says, so inspiring. We can do what we need to do with some inspiration. And that's frankly the key, as I was talking before. And I drug the whole thing out, getting really sidetracked into all the details of, you can build freaking decent pages with UpViral. You can do product launch formula. You can do multiple pages. You can do, I've shown you guys that you can put something like Typeform, which is a survey tool, as the front end for UpViral. So you have Typeform and then the UpViral sharing page. You don't need all these other tools. So yes, Deborah reiterated, I have ThriveCart, ActiveCampaign, UpViral, and I do use WordPress for my site. Glenn says, I'm going to stay away from widgets for now. This was very helpful. Kudos, Mitch. Yes, thank you very much. That's my whole point. I mean, you saw how long it took me to set up the widget and explain it and show you how it works and the problems, especially like the cookies thing, where sometimes the form shows and sometimes the sharing thing shows, and if you haven't logged in and the cookies aren't set and all of those problems. And then I built you a really quick and dirty UpViral hosted page, and I was up and running in 5-10 minutes total. Obviously, I still have to edit the page and make it look pretty. But I don't have all those other complications. People land on my landing page, and I send them to the sharing page. It's that simple. It has been great, but would be fab to have defined time frame for the sessions. Yes, Linda, I'm sorry I went long. I apologize. I do get it. And that's because I get wound up and I want to demo everything, and I should have done a better job of compressing it. Linda says, I believe I can use Kajabi and UpViral for everything I need. Yes, if you're going to host like a course, and have sales pages and all that kind of stuff, Kajabi would be a great tool for that. I started out using WordPress for that. I'm going to stick with that for now. But I also have another tool that I'm using that replaces Kajabi called Searchy, and we're not here to talk about that, but it's a freaking awesome tool. Deborah says, thanks for sharing your demo pages and your knowledge of how to max our use of UpViral for most efficient, effective campaign pages. You're welcome. I always love helping people figure out how to make their campaigns better. There's so much that UpViral can do, and it's just a matter of explaining it. Linda says, I'm also looking at GrooveFunnels. I'm still mad at GrooveFunnels, and I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole because they keep saying, oh, last day to get it at $14.95 or whatever the price is. And they keep doing this last time They've been doing that for a year and a half, and it irritates the kajibers out of me. But that's my bugaboo. I know plenty of people that are using Groove funnels, Groove Cart, Groove, all that stuff. I know one guy that is selling the kajibers out of it. He's made over $300,000 on selling it as an affiliate. I just don't care for that process. And I also know that it's currently still in beta. People that I have worked with, my accountability partner bought it, and she is still fiddling with some of the features of Groove Funnels because it's in beta. That doesn't mean you can't use it. Don't get me wrong. I know plenty of people that are using it. Number one, frankly, Linda, in my book, you don't need it. Now, I do know that it has the cart. I do know that it has pieces that you can use, and it does probably more things that I even know. But I have UpViral. I don't need to build a funnel in another tool. I don't need it. I don't need a funnel thing. That's why I'm getting rid of Convertry. I don't need it. I've used it for testing and building some pages, but I don't need it. You might decide you need it. That's okay. And eventually, I think a year from now, it will be great. They've certainly gotten enough money to be able to pay for developers to make it happen because they're selling it like hotcakes. So I'm going to check really fast if I've missed any things. Thrivecart, I'm going away from widgets. This is very helpful. Harsh people. Oh, I said all that. So thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, let me know. I tend to stall. I'm switching over to Thrive themes, Deborah says, because it does many things, including courses. Based on Mitch's outline, Thrive with Thrivecart, Autoresponder, WordPress would be all I need. Cool. There are great tools. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of great tools out there. I'm just trying to consolidate things and to shrink down what I'm doing. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense for me if you follow me, because I'm doing everything. I mean, UpViral is my tool, right? I'm doing everything in UpViral because I should be, to be able to do demos like that. I got a lot more demos. I just don't have them publicly ready yet. And as Mark and I have talked about, they say they need to do more with their own tool. And they need to have more examples of little people having success as opposed to the $200,000, $300,000 or sales pages or whatever. And yes, Deborah says, hit me up in the group if you have any questions. Of course, the UpViral group is a great place to be getting answers to questions. And I'm trying not to answer every question so that people quit talking to each other. Sometimes I answer a question and that shuts off all conversation. You're more than welcome to put your 2 cents in. Mitch is not always right about everything. I am right about this one, though. I'm rather modest about it, too. It's just a no-brainer to me. And I thoroughly teach my students and my members in my mastermind, start simple. Don't go trying to build the ultimate funnel. I won't forget one guy, and I wish I knew his name right off the top of my head, that was trying to convert UpViral into a 5-page funnel where the opt-in was on page 1 and then the sharing page was on like page 5. That was his first campaign. I'm like, why are you trying to... the process is opt-in and share, opt-in and share. Why are you trying to go through all this other stuff? Steve, you're welcome. Great show. Thanks, Mitch, and everyone for good questions. I like details, even if the show runs long. Thank you very much. I'm glad you say that. So anyway, any more questions really fast? People are starting to drop off. I see the numbers dropping down. I give you 10 seconds. If you have a question, pop in really fast. I got a question. And don't type the whole thing out. Otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye. Next week's show, we're going to be working with Danny on email newsletters. If you don't know how to do a newsletter or do your emails, that's what the topic is going to be for next week. Don't forget, you can still get UpViral for a $1 14-day trial. If you don't have UpViral, come get my no. We'll talk to you again next week. Thank you, Linda, Steve, Deborah. I'm just scrolling down the list. Deborah, Glenn, thank you for your input. Katerina, she's gone, I'm sure. You guys keep hanging on, and she just keeps sticking around. Paul, you're welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And with that, I am going to wrap it up. Appreciate each and every one of you. I love the comments. It helps me have a better show. And we'll talk to you next week on the UpViral Copilot Show.